Oh, baloney. The whole thing always gets back to drugs.
Hello, my name is Sandro Graca and I'm a licensed acupuncturist. Super excited licensed acupuncturist about what's going to happen next, because you remember the interviews with the experts. I have a playlist on YouTube so that you can go and just check them all out. And it's been a while since we've done this, and I am super delighted to have someone waiting on the line to go live really, really soon. So just as a quick introduction to this person, he is amazing. This guy, you've seen him before in this vlog, by the way. I've helped him with his very first vlog, and that's going really well, and I'm looking forward to more. He's the head of research for the TCMA. He is one of the main guys in the I.A.TCM, which is one of the top conferences worldwide about Chinese medicine. It takes place in Tel Aviv in Israel. So you know who this is by now, yeah? But he's also a great lecturer. He's a fantastic speaker. He is an amazing practitioner and a fantastic researcher. And above it all, he's just a really, really cool guy and an amazing friend. So without any further ado, let's go to split screen and have a chat with Dr. Gil Barzilay. Dr. Gil Barzilay, I know you as a Chinese medicine practitioner. There's a long list here, a researcher, a lecturer, but, well, a good friend as well. So Toda for doing this for us. Thank you very, very much for being here. But tell us, what is it exactly that you do? What do you treat in the clinic? Who do you treat? What is it that you research? Tell us a little bit more about you and even what you teach as well.
Okay, thanks Sandro for inviting me for this blog chat. So my background is actually in cancer research. I did my PhD back in England, and then I went to work for a pharma company for 13 years in the field of multiple sclerosis. When I've sort of reached the climax there and got bored, I started studying Chinese medicine, which in Israel takes 4 years. And it includes acupuncture and herbal medicine and shiatsu. And in our school, actually, we also study research in Chinese medicine, which I was exempted from. But once I finished, I was offered to teach research in our school. As a practitioner, I work in Refuot, which is one of the biggest Chinese medicine clinics in Israel. It's led by Dr. Yair, and I personally have chosen not to specialize in any specific therapeutic field, but to keep myself open to any person who is seeking some sort of help. And I'm leaning now more towards Shen disorders like depression, insomnia, anxiety, and treating the elderly. But that's something that I'm looking for to develop in the future. In terms of teaching, I teach in Broshim, in the school where I've studied and graduated from. I've also been teaching for 2 years now in Denmark, in the Acupuncture Academy led by Camilla, in Poland, and also it's coming in September in Finland for the first time. And of course the I.A.TCM Congress.
Yeah. So just a very quick question about something that you mentioned there, because there's going to be probably more practitioners watching this than the general public. But when you say about not specializing in one particular area, I know that comes up every once in a while in discussions online and everything. What is your opinion? Do you think that that's important? Do you think that it's a big deal? It's not a big deal? Is it a personal choice? What is your opinion?
Well, for me, it is a personal choice at the moment. I think that, in my opinion, that every practitioner should take their time to find out a field that they're interested in. I think that sometimes people run from one course to another, learning more and more techniques, but if you don't get to practice them on a specific population, then you get lost and you essentially have the notes on your table and that's about it. I think that people should gain more experience. I certainly see more and more patients every year since I've graduated, but it takes time. And then, getting sort of more understanding of what you think is interesting, what interests you, what you have more results, and what you see, get feedback from the patients, and then going on to specialize. people sometimes run immediately to specialize. I can understand why it can be attractive because you want to become an expert in your field. But you know, it takes a long time to become an expert, and so take your time, think about it. If you think that there's something that really interests you, try and get it, but don't rush immediately into something and then do back and forth. And at the end of the day, no matter how hard we try to specialize, about 50% of our patients first and foremost come because of pain. So whether we like it or not, orthopedic, any type of pain and migraines are the ones that they're all going to be coming in naturally, and then the rest of it will come from whichever we specialize in. So yeah, okay, but I would take the time to find what it is and not just rush into
yeah. I think that's very good advice there, and I'm glad that this came up because this wasn't part of what we originally talked about. But that's very good advice for someone coming out of college as well, because yes, I can really understand where you're coming from. There could be that coming out of college and straight interest into just specializing in the one thing, but you can actually then miss out on reading a lot more about general stuff, and there's always going to be people ringing you and coming into your clinic about something new to you, which makes you then pick up the books and read more about it. So for that initial period out of college, maybe it would be a good idea just to keep it as general and just try different things and see what clicks to you. And once that clicks for you, then you can go and decide what to do. Yeah, without spreading yourself too thin that you're doing too much.
I know, but also remember that at the beginning of your career, there's no cure outside. I mean, you get what you get. You don't have the luxury of saying, "Oh no, I'm only treating depression." So it's great. I mean, in your mindset, go and read about it, find whatever interests you. But you don't have the luxury of saying, "No, sorry, shoulder pain is him or her. I only treat depression," because then you're sitting at home and reading books. That's great, but what about practicing?
You're not seeing patients, yeah, absolutely. We sound like people that have been in clinic for way too long, and this is quickly turning into old age talk, so let's just forget about that now.
Okay.
Someone told me last year that now that I'm into practice double digits, because it was 10 years last year, it doesn't really matter, you're old anyway. So I thought, well, thanks for that. That's great.
Well, I'm far and away from the double digit on that, but I'm not even looking forward because that would mean that I'm going to be really old. So.
And wise, you forgot that bit. It's old and wise.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Remember that. So another big thing, another big part of your life and your life in acupuncture and Chinese medicine is Dr. Gil Barzilay as a researcher. So in your opinion, why is research in our professional field of acupuncture and TCM so important, and not just for the public, but actually for other professionals as well?
Why is it? Because there is a lot of research, and because it can confirm what we know about the ancient medicine. We live in a Western world, you live in Ireland, and I live in Israel and America and Europe and whatever. And this ancient medicine has arrived relatively recently in our continents or whatever. And people are used to Western medicine and whatever metrics and measurements that have been done that are well established. And so they're asking the questions. And in order not to think, and I think even insult Chinese medicine as a voodoo medicine, knowing all the basis for it, seeing all the research that is available over the last 30 to 40 years, it really enables you to, first of all, confirm the ancient medicine and show people that it works as good or sometimes even better without the safety and side effect issues. That's the first thing. The second thing is that it really opens the doors for discussion with the establishment. We're a bit lucky in Israel because almost all the hospitals in Israel have integration of Chinese medicine into it in some shape and form, usually into the oncology department, sometimes into the orthopedic and internal, and even the ER. But that's not the case in many countries, certainly in Europe. And so it really opens the door for discussing the benefits of Chinese medicine with the establishment, and yes, convincing them. It also explains how it works using modern technology. There's so many interesting machinery that may look boring for those who study Chinese medicine and ask themselves, why do I need to explain how it works? It works. But people ask questions. Our patients ask questions. The authorities ask questions. Our colleagues ask questions. And when you know how it works and you can explain what the acupuncture does in your brain to, to reduce pain or to improve depression or whatever, I think it's pretty cool, actually. I mean, without getting all into the boring details, because machinery can be boring, MRIs can be boring to interpret, and stuff like that. I think it's quite cool if you can actually explain and even show that there are meridians, and there's a lot of data now about those secret meridians that have been hiding for years. So I like it, and I think that it really, I love the discussion with doctors. I love the arguments. I love the fact that they send, they make all these comments about, it's, it doesn't work or whatever, and showing them the evidence. I think it's a really, really cool and useful, forget the coolness about it, for therapists to have it in, the evidence with them and be able to discuss it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I can remember, again, going back to the college days and even just coming out of college, there was a lot of that, even in the circle of other students, there was a lot of the, we don't really need any research or explain how it works because it's been used for so long that of course it works because it's been used for so long. And then as I kind of got to read more and more into it and got interested in the research side of things as well, just because it's been used for a long, long time, how do you then break that down and actually going about and exploring exactly how it works and breaking it down? I can't remember who it was, you might know, but there was someone that wrote once about that modern science was the best thing that ever happened to acupuncture because now we have all the gadgets to explore this and explore that. So picking on what you were saying, without getting too geeky into, we can use loads of tools to show exactly what it is, but it does make a difference because then I know we're being reductionist and just going at the small view, but it's good to actually see and to have it there in front of you, as you said, to even to talk to other medical professionals that, have a completely different, I suppose, paradigm in terms of what they see as medicine.
Listen, I'm not suggesting that everyone should get into research in Chinese medicine because it's the hottest thing, and that people should do a degree and go and do MRIs and whatever. There are people who do that anyway, and the Chinese, actually all of Asia, in Taiwan, in Korea, and in Japan as well, they have a lot of budgets and they do the research for us. I think it is quite useful for people to be able to know how to look for these articles and to be able to read them properly and without going into all the statistics. No one has to do a PhD in statistics, but just be able to quickly understand it, understand the gist of it, and be able to talk about it. And so if someone said, it doesn't work with those, usually those really nasty faces that like send you out of the office, you can tell them, no, actually you're wrong. There is this and that and whatever. So.
But there's still a big difference between what happens and this is not just for Chinese medicine, for acupuncture, but it happens in any kind of research, that there is a bit of a difference between what happens in the study and actually what happens in the clinic. Would you agree with that?
Of course. Listen, the whole thing in Chinese medicine, we all know, and I had discussion with my students as well in school that are asking, how can you do the same protocol, for example, for all your patients? I mean, we're talking about an individualized medicine, and then you're coming with the protocols. So you're absolutely right. It's not that the patients are different, what we see is different, and of course there is some sort of criticism about doing clinical study in Chinese medicine because it is an individualized medicine. At the end of the day, those studies work. And we all know that we have studied, I don't know, over 300 acupuncture points and over 300 or 500, whatever, herbs, whoever studied herbs. At the end of the day, there is a relatively small number of points that we all use. And when you're trying to include a certain population and use a pool of acupuncture points, either it works or it doesn't work, but it seems like those studies work. That's why there are some smart people who have designed protocols, not for studies, but protocols that are known by other masters, and they work. So even though, yes, it is an individualized medicine, and when we treat our patients, we do treat them individually with exactly the syndrome and symptoms that they have. But I guess there is enough room for grouping, and that's why those studies, those that work, show the efficacy. So
Yeah, that's very good. That's very good information. And again, it's great to have this kind of broken down in that way, that if there's someone from the public watching this, they can clearly just identify with that. And if there's practitioners watching this as well, they'll know what it's all about. So that's why I have you here, because you're great at explaining things. See, what did I say to you? I told you it was going to be amazing, didn't I? Like, this guy is phenomenal. So listen, there will be more. That was part one of the interview. I will have a few more because there's tons of information there. We had great fun as well, doing it and putting it all together. And again, Dr. Gil Barzilay, thank you so much for taking the time to help us and to put the vlog together. And if you want to watch any more of the interviews with the experts, I have a playlist on YouTube, so you can check them all out, because those are more for practitioners, obviously. And if there's anyone that you would like me to contact, or if you think it's a good idea to get in touch with someone, please send me a message and let me know, and I'll do my best to get them on the vlog as quickly as possible. Keep an eye out for the next part of this interview. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you know straight away when it's up and live. And hey, until next time, be kind and be healthy.
Oh, baloney. The whole thing always gets back to drugs.